wouldn't spend a lot of time on Zard, would purely go for Ivysaur. Obviously then, as the game went on, the patches came out, Ivysaur did get nerfed, so I think Charizard's the more common one now. We'll have to see how these two trainers match up as we begin the first set of Regen 2023. Let's see, we're off to Smashville to start this off. Interesting small stage, close us down. There we go, the F-tilt is going to lead straight into a conversion, and in goes Cactus, but let's see how things are going to progress as this test continues.
I think it's wild as well because we obviously talk about, you know, a lot of people don't like the Ditto in bracket. They find it quite frustrating because it's quite jarring to have to deal with your own tools in that way. But obviously the Pokemon Trainer Ditto is sort of inherently a little bit different because, yeah, it's a Ditto, but is it? Obviously both of these players at the moment very much sticking to Squirtle, and we're finally seeing the Ivysaur switch from first Cactus, but then PTR joining the Leaf Party, and now we can just see PTR stuck on the ledge of the stage, a ledge trap coming out from Cactus here, just a lot of Razor Leaves being thrown out, and a lovely aggressive nair, and suddenly the roles are reversed here, Hopper.
Absolutely, the more aggressive use. Oh my giddy, and speaking of aggressive, there's Charizard straight in and straight back to Squirtle here. The ledge trap situation was very, very dangerous, but able to get off the ledge, only to be struck by the magical Charizard back here, which always seems to do just enough to either kill or just cause a horrid situation. Cactus said to me once that this matchup is sort of defined by who pilots Squirtle the best, or at least that was very early in the game, because obviously Squirtle is going to do very well with the other two characters obviously being so, you know, that aerial mobility is that little bit less, the size of Charizard, but then you see there PTR unafraid to go for big hits, calling out with a huge Ivysaur up air to take the first stock off Cactus. We are going straight to a pretty much a reset, really. Obviously percents are a little bit skewed in the favour of Cactus, but the percentages are climbing higher and higher, as is Ivysaur, as Squirtle goes for 3 up airs into a lovely 4-deck finish off, and a great Razor Leaf to catch the recovery, forcing the Zard, and using Fly to get straight back to ledge.
Really, really excellent stuff there from Cactus, even when getting jumbled, making sure to not use the jump, because in that situation as well, Pokemon Trainer can be so vulnerable when they don't have that double jump available. Just knowing to stick it out, eventually the Storm will pass, and another beautiful back air there from Cactus, taking the lead once again, and like you mentioned earlier on, the switch straight back to Squirtle. It is the key tool in this matchup, as you have been saying.
Absolutely just wants to get back to that character, but sent back to Charizard with a huge F smash coming out there. Double F tilt. Squirtle Ditto is once again on the board here as we see Cactus sending PTR high into the sky. We want to see combo stock coming out from PTR to start equalizing, and that could have been the start. That dash attack not leading into anything, unfortunately, but wants to get it, getting those straight hits with the F tilt. The lovely back air there, ready to call out the withdraw, but unable to execute. The switch has come out, and both Ivysaurs are on deck. A whiff grab into a down throw of B. Beautiful work by Cactus. That Ivysaur proficiency really paying dividends here. Oh, lovely net to get off ledge though. Just really nice safe option. Spinning those leaves. Wants another F smash to finish things off potentially. And Zard's back out. Things are getting dangerous for PTR, but equally with Charizard on the board, Cactus could be in equally dire straits, especially with a slash like that.
It's going to be really, really dangerous managing to just get back to stage there, but of course Charizard at this kind of percent with a little bit of rage, Ivysaur going to be incredibly vulnerable, switching to the Charizard, knowing the situation here. Cactus not quite managing to get it, but the back air, it does secure it, and Cactus taking game 1.
I don't need a kill throw, all I need is my tried and true Charizard back air. As I referred to it earlier, the magic move that always seems to do just enough damage, just enough knockback, and was just enough there to seal things out for Cactus, who takes game 1. As I said, Ivysaur was the favourite, but now it's the Zard. The heavy hits, the big conversions. You saw that down throw back air come out multiple times. Cactus is so proficient at getting that out now, and we saw it pay massive dividends there. And I think it came down to, obviously PTR was right there ready to use Ivysaur and got the kills with Ivysaur, but I think Cactus was just that little bit more ready to get those big hits with Charizard. The Squirtles were evenly matched. The Ivysaur was definitely in PTR's favour, but Charizard is definitely paying more dividends for Cactus right now.
100%. And it didn't feel like, you know, we mentioned it a little bit earlier on before game 1, but certainly it does feel like with every Pokemon trainer, there is that Pokemon that they favour, right? And 99% of the time, it's either Squirtle or Ivysaur, let's be real. But it's wild because with PTR, I don't feel like they are particularly... I feel like they're equally as good with certainly Squirtle and Ivysaur. We didn't really see too much of the Charizard during that set, or certainly during that game 1. We might end up seeing a little bit different, but again, both of these players starting on Squirtle. Of course, Squirtle having that fast frame data, having those really nice bread and butter combos, getting you up to 50-60%, which is that perfect, that golden percent where Ivysaur can start to run havoc.
Absolutely, and that's going to be even easier for these two. As we see, Game 2 is actually going to go to Battlefield and Squirtle with platforms. That's dangerous, but also Ivysaur, dangerous as well, able to get those conversions off platform. A lovely up air from him. Oh my God, that was a brilliant use of all of Ivysaur's aerial assaults, the up tilt, the up air, and finally the up B, pointing that stick up and said, "You're going down, PTR."
Now, the one thing that I want to see here from Cactus is the maintenance of that lead, right? It felt like every single time Cactus has been taking the first stock each and every time, but PTR, she's been doing an excellent job at just making sure that that lead only stays around for 5 to 10 seconds. It's really going to be down to Cactus right now to make that lead substantial, to make it worthwhile. And we can see PTR already scrapping again, trying to get the stock going, but 51% already is a stronger lead than I think we've seen at any point in this game here.
Absolutely, a great fade back fair there to create a horrible offstage situation, but we see here Cactus able to just swing straight back as PTR goes for a huge back air to put Cactus back off stage. The fly has been such a useful tool here, but the up smash is just as useful for killing there. We've seen a little bit more of a conservative recovery. Obviously, we said Cactus last game was saving that jump, but we've seen it this time. Maybe using one and then just getting ready to use that fly straight away. That super armor ready to recover. Beautiful use of Squirtle, and the Zard is forced out. You didn't want to risk a tether that may or may not have even landed. And PTR is on fire right now, wanting those big hits, and percents have just turned the tide here. We've got PTR back in the lead, but a back throw is definitely no, a down throw for that damage, fair enough. Lovely tomahawk there, faking something at an up air from Charizard. Is going to come out on that top platform, not quite ready to kill yet, but the headbutt is going to come out second time and secure things.
Cactus had a really great awareness there to switch to the Charizard in that situation because it was his only option. But I love the fact that PTR made a real effort to really make him suffer for it. And even though he got that stock, he still took 85% in the meantime. But Cactus, once again, with this Ivysaur, like you mentioned, it is his tried and true. And PTR, I've seen it a few times in this set already. They like to go for these pretty Hail Mary smash attacks in an effort to secure the stock. And sometimes it works, but when it doesn't, you can suffer so much for it. And oh my God, had the right read but the wrong execution and takes an up smash for it. PTR still living at the moment, but has got a bit of a deficit to climb.
Back and forth and back. We saw that stock swing in both directions there. Both players going for beautiful reads. PTR on that switch was ready, but just went a hair too soon. Cactus had the right read, as we say, but the wrong moment there. The roll not quite going far enough. Maybe just a tad misspaced here, as we see Ivysaur come back out, and Squirtle. Ivysaur is far less even than Squirtle. Squirtle, here we go. Squirtle's out, but the get-up attack's actually going to secure things. F-tilt nearly takes it. The light Squirtle not quite going yet, but Cactus is one hit away. But that being said, one up B in a sweet spot, not quite landing at that time, and certainly secured things. And up air one. This is very dangerous here. Things have reversed quite swiftly, especially when you're off stage. Lovely down air attempt. I love the idea, but not quite there. Great there, but the slash is coming out from PTR. A great turnaround compared to the second stock there. That was a beautiful deficit, deconstructed through confident use of Ivysaur versus a character who's far chunkier, far wider, and far more susceptible to taking big damage, sealed out by a superb Charizard.
And that was the key difference, right? Something that we were really seeing from PTR was these really aggressive off-stage attempts, making it so that Cactus had to switch to the Charizard to get back. And then PTR, they would switch to the Ivysaur themselves and really make Cactus suffer, really make him struggle to get back down on stage. And we saw that in Stock 2, and we saw that in Stock 3 as well. And that is something that Cactus is going to have to be really aware of when trying to get back on stage. Is, yes, getting back is important, but that next stage is making sure you get back, ideally without Charizard. But PTR at the moment with a really strong opening, 55% on the board, extending to 60 and only getting higher with each attempt. But Cactus finally answering back. What can he get on the board at the moment?
Oh, wants the down throw into the up air. Both times, though, gets the down throw, but no follow-up, nobody home. Unfortunately, straight into Charizard. And one key thing we've seen in the early stages of this game, Cactus was straight off Squirtle. Literally took like 2 hits and was straight to Ivysaur. Once that comfort and fly is going to make things a lot more comfortable. The back air certainly potentially could have sealed things. Lovely save of the double jump there to ensure Cactus is going to get back. But in the air versus Charizard, it's hard to get down.
So good there from PTR. Such a strong opener all the way through, and now PTR has got an incredibly strong lead, taking that momentum from that game 2 and just completely running with that. And it feels as if with PTR that sometimes they've got the right reads, but she isn't quite able to execute the timing. It feels like they're just half second off where they should be, but now just slowing down the pace a little bit, again using the Vine Whip to force out the Charizard, and now Charizard cannot get down, and the only way Cactus is getting back to stage is on the Angel platform. 3 stocks to 1 hopper.
Absolutely a massive shift compared to the previous 2 games, and one crucial thing we've seen, beautiful down air there, by the way, by Cactus stealing out that second stock, pardon one, first stock, but one crucial thing we've seen, unfortunate SD there, but PTR, she was so good at forcing a switch. Squirtle straight away, Cactus like, nah, I'm off. I don't want to take big damage of Squirtle, even though Squirtle really is the character sort of, even though he's lighter, you don't really want to be getting off him as quick as you can because he's smaller, he's more likely to fall out of those combos, he's better against the other 2 and evenly matches himself in the Ditto. I think we need to see a bit more conservative switching from Cactus there, because that was like, it was just a complete reversal due to those panic switches. PTR was able to take full advantage, forcing out the Ivysaur, and then, oh, you've gone Charizard, great. I'll switch and just up air you. Sorry, pardon what? Up air you, and that's it.
It feels like it's almost like Cactus has been maxed his stats, right? It feels like his neutral and his advantage are really strong. When it comes to that disadvantage state, it does feel like Cactus can almost flounder a little bit, sort of get in his own head and begin to panic and go for these quite obvious options that PTR is really making a point of punishing, particularly now that she's had a couple of games to download. But at the same time, PTR, even though it's more well-rounded, you've got to make that work. And another switch attempt, and just both of these players are so aggressive in their advantage state. They want blood, and they want it quick, and they want it now.
Absolutely, but one thing we've seen there is Cactus was far more ready to go back to Squirtle in a position, percentage-wise, that you wouldn't typically see the squirting turtle to come out. The up B there is not going to quite seal it, but one more will certainly do it. But then straight back to Ivysaur, getting back to that sort of that comfort, that early comfort that actually isn't going down quite yet. But I was about to say, does go down to the fly, but not quite the case yet. Zard is back out. Zard Ditto is here. Let's see if Cactus can get off ledge and start things. Unfortunate F-throw. Cactus has lost another stock here as PTR looks to be establishing a rather dominant lead as the supreme Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, he's been doing a really excellent job at the moment at mixing up his pacing, right? It feels like there are these elements where I feel like PTR has noticed that Cactus is panicking a lot. And PTR has these moments where he can really push on that pressure to make him panic, and then wait, be patient, and react. Like right there, right? You know, all this pressure, you're going to air dodge. And even then, another really strong read there from PTR. The up smash, not managing to hit, but the Vine Whip is going to. This is a completely different set from what we had right at the start. PTR is sending Cactus probably into the losers bracket with a 3 stock to 1 lead hopper.
It's looking rather unfortunate here for my local hero. Wants a big hit there, but actually gets down aired himself. Cactus is sent to the losers bracket. PTR proving themselves to be more of a gym leader than a gym trainer there, taking that first game to download, to take the moment to write. What's Cactus doing? Can I sit and can I just study what's happening? And then it's like, oh, the second Cactus gets hit, a Squirtle, it's straight off. I'm going to get Ivysaur out and just punish with Squirtle. Oh, Ivysaur, you switched again. Oh, you've air dodged. I'm going to punish that. And that was the key difference between those 2 trainers, as we were saying there. Cactus just floundered a little bit, panicked a little bit, and because of that, you know, air dodges weren't quite as savoury as they should have been. Switches were a little bit more exploitable than perhaps they should have been, and because of that, PTR takes the set.
And that's the beauty of the 3 out of 5, right? Is that if you lose that game 1 and a 2 out of 3, there's that immediate pressure of I cannot make any more mistakes. And you can get into your own head, and even in that game 2, Cactus had the lead all the way through, and it was a monumental comeback from PTR to be able to take that game 2. And I feel like if there was that pressure of the best of 3 resting on their shoulders, that comeback probably wouldn't have happened or would have been a lot harder to do.